How's it growing? So you have frigid temperatures coming and you're wondering how to prepare your garden.
Hey Stack, that's not what my weather app says.
Yeah, Bo, it looks like we may dodge this one here in Southeast Florida, but other parts of the state will need to prepare. And it's very likely that you here in the Southeast will need this too very soon. So let's get right to it.
What about those counterintuitive tips from IFAS?
Yeah, Bo, let's hold off on that until the end of this video. And that's more about rescuing plants after the cold damage. But for now, let's talk about preparing your garden, and we'll start with deep watering 2 days before the cold snap. Make sure your plants are well hydrated before the cold weather to minimize damage. Without going into scientific details, basically, when you water your garden deeply 2 days before the cold weather, the sun has a chance to warm the soil more. And plus, when plants are healthier and well hydrated, they're more resilient.
But it's not recommended to run your irrigation system during a cold snap.
And that's unless you have a proper irrigation design. And for more information on that, check out the IFAS links in the description.
Of course, before a chill, you'll want to bring inside any potted plants that you can, especially cold-sensitive plants like Cuban oregano.
But now let's talk about covers. Yeah, what you need to understand is that earth serves as the plant's heat source. So when covering it, the cover must reach the ground and cover as much of the ground as possible. And you can use sheets, blankets, plastic, and it can be as simple as using a plastic container for small plants or even a trash can over a plant. If you do use plastic, know that the ambient temperature outside the plastic can damage the plant that is in contact with the cover. You can use garden hoops like what they sell at Amigos growers to support the covers. And if you use clear plastic, be sure to remove that after the chill before it gets scorched by the sun.
And what about lights?
Yeah, but LED lights do not provide enough heat to warm the plants. Use incandescent lights.
Our friend Dan Sobian says that he had a coconut tree that was too large to cover, and he used C9 lights to keep it warm, and it worked great.
And Dan has said that he has used old electric blankets and also buckets of water under a cover. He and I have been chatting about this, and he brought up the fact that there's a difference in protecting monocots and dicots. Dicots can branch out and lose a few branches, and it's no big deal. They can grow more branches as they recover. But a monocot, if you lose that top, you can say goodbye to that tree. For example, think of a palm tree as having a trunk as the lifeline to the heart. The heart is at the top of the tree. So you could wrap the heart of the palm with an old electric blanket and use C9 lights for the trunk. To know what to do after a cold snap, check out this other video where Bo shared counterintuitive things that IFAS says you should and should not do. If you don't see a link up here or in the end screen, you'll find a link in the description.
And Amigos Growers has a great cold weather guide, and there's a link in the description.
And a big thank you to our friend, retired meteorologist and hobby farmer, Dan Sobian, for sharing his advice. He also gave us great tips in this other video about how to prepare your garden for hurricane season. You ready, Bo?
Live regeneratively, and let's grow together.